All right, so you have just left your job. You're brand new to this whole thing called entrepreneurship, but you're super excited and you're also probably a little bit afraid. And there's good reason to be both. Now, you're probably wondering, well, what's next? As you enter and embark upon this new endeavor called entrepreneurship, what can you expect? And more importantly, what should your mindset be as you go into this? We've got a great show for you coming up next. If this sounds like you. Hello and welcome to the Blitz Business Development Show. My name is Mayo and I'm a business consultant and coach as well as the founder of the Blitz Business Development Academy. This is a show that provides guidance, resources, and access to best practices to help you advertise, manage, and build geometric profits. From freelancers and home-based business owners to startups and storefronts, you will learn how to start small as you think and grow big. Okay, so you probably want to know what's the difference between a W-2 mindset and an entrepreneurial mindset. And I think the best way for me to approach this topic is I'm going to use something that my father used to tell me, some quote he used to say, which was wherever you go, you take yourself, right? Wherever you go, you take yourself. So I've actually used that quote for so many things as it relates to business and even in my life in general. So I actually have turned it into a law, so to speak. It's called the law of wherever you go, you take yourself. And what does that have to do with being an employee versus being an entrepreneur? Well, what it means is pretty simple, actually. Whatever you did as a W-2 employee, that means whatever your habits were, good or bad, okay? However you saw or approach doing work, whether or not you had a strong work ethic or a poor work ethic, whether or not you saw being on time as optional, or whether or not you saw deadlines as, or maybe it's not my money. You know, it all really kind of depends on you. And you know who you are at the workplace or who you have been. Now, a lot of this has to do simply with characteristics and traits of your personality and of your character. And so those same habits that you have in the W-2 world, where you have a job and you are employed by someone else, they can either work for you or they can work against you. You see, one of the things that's difficult about being an entrepreneur is a lot of people are enamored by the glamour of you being able to be in control of your own time, control of yourself, control of your own money and how you make the money and when you make the money and all those things. And all that is absolutely 100% true. However, what most people don't realize is how much they actually don't know themselves as much as they will need to know themselves to be successful as an entrepreneur. And what I mean by that is that you have a lot of folks who, you know, will take their habits and the approach and the methodology to doing work from a job, and then they'll take it to doing their business, right? And the reality is, what's dramatically different is that when you are not getting things done in a timely manner, or if you show up, you know, and it's like 2 hours late, the idea is that, oh, well, you know, so what? I'm the boss, you know, this is my thing. I run this. So I'm going to get here when I feel like it. Or, well, I'm the boss. So, you know, I can decide and make the executive decision that I want to go this way instead of that way. Well, you know, there's another quote that says, "To much is given, much is asked." And what a lot of folks don't understand is that entrepreneurship requires an enormous amount of discipline, and it requires that you do or learn how to do what you have to do, what you need to do, not just what you want to do. And if you don't have the discipline to be able to pull the reins in on yourself and make yourself do things according to different deadlines, make yourself do things just because they have to be done and not because you want to punch off the clock. See, when you have a business, you oftentimes will not be working 8 hours a day. It'll be more like, say, 8 to 12 to 16, sometimes more. I've done all of that. And I can say that it's not a lot of people who necessarily have the discipline right off the break to go from a job to a business and have all that kind of figured out and worked out. Because most people don't even think about it. And they think that because they're the boss, they can do what they want to do. And the truth is, and the danger is, that they can. You can do what you want to do. But there are consequences for you not doing what you need to do. So, that's why there's such a dramatic difference between the W-2 mindset. And I'm only really covering one level of it at the moment, which is basically, having to do with your productivity. Because the reality is, your business is really a reflection of who you are, one way or another, for better or for worse. And your business is going to be as good or as successful as you are as the person who is managing and creating that business. So trust me, it's never going to be a time where your business is going to operate. Let's just say there were, 10 levels and number 10 is the highest. Well, your business is going to operate at the level 10, right? If you're operating at a level 5, that's never going to happen. And the reason why that's not going to happen is because your business is really you. Your business is an extension of who you are and where you are as a person and business owner, and wherever you are in your personal development. Because another level to this is emotional management. Being able to manage your business and manage yourself, through the ebbs and flows of business is extremely difficult. Because unlike a job, right? Let's say you just come off of some difficult project and you need to take a few days off to kind of recalibrate. Now, in your own business, you can take a few days off. But the difference is, depending on where you are in your business in terms of its growth, you may be the only person that's in charge. So if you take a few days off, depending on your business and how it's set up, that could be literally catastrophic, because that business cannot function without you. Versus the person who has the W-2 situation, someone can just step in and take your place during the time that you're gone. And it's these types of things that I think a lot of people don't understand when they get into business. And they really have a false idea or false representation of what it's going to be like being in business. There's a lot of this that's just so glamorized to where, honestly, to a degree, part of me feels like it's a good thing that people don't really know how difficult this can be, because they probably wouldn't even get started. And then that wouldn't be any good. But at the same time, I think a lot of people also fail in business because they don't go into it with the proper mindset. Because business is not a sprint. It's not a marathon. It's a triathlon. Okay? And I say that because there are going to be so many times where so much of what you're going to need to function and operate is going to require every part of you. Like literally every part of you. And you're going to need to be able to motivate yourself during times where there isn't anyone. There's no coworkers. There's nobody sometimes to even be there for you to see when you're winning, even if it's just an incremental win. See, business is very, very, I like to think it's spiritual on a lot of levels. A lot of people probably don't agree with that. But based off of my evolution and understanding of business, I definitely at this point see there's a lot of that's about spirituality tied into business, in that your faith and your belief in both God and belief in yourself, it all comes into question. and the way that you basically express yourself in your business as a human being, how you treat other people, it all pretty much permeates and brings everything together. And you come full circle to this place to where, you know, there's actually a dramatic difference between the W-2 mindset, because there's just so much, I would say, emotional intelligence and psychology that's typically needed to navigate this space we call entrepreneurship, right? And again, I'm really only touching what I feel like is really one level of this, because once you start throwing a family into the mix, or you start throwing a significant other, or even not necessarily a husband or a wife, but even if you just throw into a relationship, it can be extremely difficult. Okay, so with that said, the biggest difference, and I want to give you guys some takeaways here. The biggest difference is going to be what your work ethic is. Now, only you know what this is. Only you know what you're good at, what you're not. Only you know what your work ethic is when you don't want to do something. But I'm going to tell you now, one of the things that you definitely are gonna want to work on is your discipline. Discipline. It's going to help you win the game in the end. You know, like I said, it's not a sprint, not a marathon, it's a triathlon. Okay, and it takes time. You got to be patient with yourself. Okay, you got to be patient with other people while you're needing to be patient. And I can tell you, being in a relationship or being in a marriage, that can be very difficult, because people are always watching you and they're wanting you to succeed to a degree. Some of them, and some of them do not. But at the end of the day, even the ones that want you to succeed, they oftentimes want you to succeed on their terms and their time frame. You know, it's just a lot of other stuff that goes with that. So that can be difficult, again, to manage. So I would say that there's a night and day's difference between those in a job. There's so many things that you take for granted a lot of times that you don't have to worry about when you work for someone, right? So much. So I would like to leave you guys with this idea that being an entrepreneur is a lot like stepping into the ring with a world champion boxer. You know, you probably got at best a puncher's chance of winning. So the way that you basically turn that around and work it to your favor is, you know, you listen to podcasts and listen to the shows like the business development show, or taking content and information that's going to program and condition yourself for the work, condition yourself for entrepreneurship. And you want to do that mentally, okay? By listening to positive and motivational speeches and things like that. The content that you take in is molding you every single day. Every single day, the content is molding you. Okay? So what you want to do is make sure that the mold that's getting created or getting created through you is going to be filled with content that you're going to like the outcome of when you're growing. Okay? Or when you're done growing. So with that said, that wraps up for today, folks. This is going to be just a really short show, and I hope you got something from this. I look forward to seeing you again for the Business Development Show. I'm Mayo Best. Thanks. Take care. God bless. And see you in the next one. Bye-bye. This episode of the Business Development Show was brought to you by... Does this sound like you? You want to attract customers and increase your revenue, but you don't know how. Or you know that social media works, but it's so time-consuming that you barely have time to build the rest of your business. Or maybe you know that you want to start advertising, but it just costs so much that you don't even try. Well, after months of development, we've developed one of the world's first solutions to address all these problems and more. Introducing the Blitz Local Deals Club. The Blitz Local Deals Club is a membership-based program that offers enterprise-level solutions to local businesses to help them find, advertise, and connect with their customers to increase revenue. We provide a suite of digital marketing services to help businesses attract and retain customers using industry best practices and the most affordable digital advertising program in the industry, bar none. This one-of-a-kind membership offers members the ability to put their business in front of customers in places that only major brands could afford. Just imagine being able to place your product or service in restaurants, malls, doctor's offices, roadside billboards, or gyms. You can even deploy laser-targeted campaigns to optimize your advertising budget by placing your ads on radio, digital TV, audio, desktop, or mobile devices of your target market. The best part of all is that you don't have to deal with any of the complications of learning new software platforms or the details that require you to spend hours on posting or curating new content. We handle the details of your campaign as a part of the service to you in order to give you back the hundreds of hours you spend working in your business instead of working on it. This is all made possible by our partnerships with well over 1,000 networks across multiple platforms with some of the largest networks in the world, such as CBS, ESPN, HGTV, Fox, OWN, Redbox, USA Today, Clear Channel, Coinstar, The Weather Channel, PlayStation, AOL, Apple TV, Fire TV, Android, iOS, Spotify, and eBay, just to name a few. So, what are some of the benefits of a BLDC membership? Enhance your online presence, improve your local visibility, get discovered easily, create your brand awareness, boost your SEO, rank higher on Google, gain an edge over your competitors, reputation management, networking opportunities, get business development services, access to business consulting, grow your business, analytics, increase your sales, and best of all, it's affordable and scalable enough to allow you to increase your advertising budget alongside the increase of your revenue. All this for less than the daily price of a Starbucks beverage per month. Or you can even get started today with our free plan by visiting us at www.thebldc.com. That's www.thebldc.com. Or give us a call at 301-288-3368.